Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to change a fraction to a decimal and also to a percent. I got out some of these fraction pieces to show you guys. I have these in my classroom, so you're welcome to get them if you ever get a question that you're curious about and you need these. But I'm going to show you these today. So this is 1/2. You can imagine that there's the rest of the circle is here, and this is half of it. But there's other ways to say this too, and what's cool about these is they have them on the other side. So 1/2 is the same thing as 50%, and I could also say 0.5. They're the exact same thing, they're just different ways of saying it. So when we do these today, when we change it, we don't change how much it's worth. The shape stays the same, whether it's 50% or whether it's 1/2. They are the exact same thing, they're totally equal. There's just different ways of saying it. Okay, so we've looked at what it means, and now I'm going to show you the math way to do it. So I made myself a little graphic organizer of the fraction, and then here we're going to put what it is for decimal, and then what it is as a percent. So I'm going to show you how to do it. So we have 1/2. We talked about before how fractions are like division. So to change it, what we're just going to do is, to change it to a decimal, we're going to divide 1 divided by 2. Is all we have to do. So 1 divided by 2. So now that I know that, I'm going to get that in my calculator, and I'm going to put in 1 divided by 2. So you can see that's what I'm putting in, just the division, and then I'm going to hit the equal sign. Bam. Oh, if that happens and you have a calculator who gives you 1/2, you're going to hit that SC button. It'll give it to us in a number. So bam, there we are. And what's our equivalent? 0.5, which if you remember was the exact same thing that our fraction tile said. So 0.5. I'm going to put that where it says decimal. So 0.5. Okay, so we've got it, and it's a decimal. Now the next part is a little trickier because you can't use a calculator. You have to use your head brain. So we have to change the decimal to a percent. The way we're going to do that is we're going to move this little dot right here, this decimal, the point, over 2 times. So I'm going to move it over once and then one more time. Now this is what's weird. The first time I move it, there's a number right there. The next time I go to move it, there's no number. If that happens, you're going to have to add 1. So we'll just put a 0 there because there was nothing there. Alright, so now we have 0, 5, 0. Alright, now knowing that, I want you to think for a second. Does a 0 at the front of a number, does it matter? Does it change anything? No, because it's not worth anything. So we can actually get rid of that, and we have 50 left. The decimal's at the end. When a decimal's at the end, it doesn't really do anything because there's nothing after it to show that there's a part. So we're good. We're going to do 50%. So 50, sorry, it's kind of messy, percent. And going back, I'm going to change this part right here. It was 0.5, back to what it was. So those are all my equivalents. It's really messy, I'm sorry. And as we saw, that's correct. 50%, same thing as a half. Whoops. Yep, that's it. So I'm going to do one more example, and this time I want you to get a calculator and try to do it with me. We're going to do 3/4, and we're going to try to come up with the decimal and percent. So to change it from a fraction to a decimal, we remember that fractions are like division. So in your calculator, you'll put 3 divided by 4. 3 divided by 4. So go ahead and do that now. I'll do it too. 3 divided by 4, and that's what I put in. And I'm ready to hit the equal sign. Did the same thing, it gave it to me as a fraction. These scientific calculators do that. But I already had it as a fraction. I don't want that. So I'm going to hit the SC. That's going to convert it to a decimal. Bam. There it gives me 0.75. So I'm going to put right here 0.75. Got it. Alright, now to change it from a decimal to a percent, I have to take that point and move it over 2 times. So 1, 2. So I have 0.75. Okay, well the 0 at the beginning doesn't really matter. My decimal's at the end. So I'm going to have 75%. And I am finished. I've just converted another one. hopefully you got the hang of it and you can do it yourself.